In the famous words of the great poet Iron Mike Tyson, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, for league players, getting punched in the face is essentially just another day at the office. In fact, there's a good chance that if you're an NRL player, boxing is somewhere in your retirement plans. Just look at Paul Gallen. The former Sharks captain turned heavyweight started boxing during his NRL career and now has 18 professional fights under his name with only 2 losses. Which begs the question, which current NRL players could be part of the next batch to lace up the gloves? I'm Phoenix Trinidad from ZeroTackle.com, and this is 5 NRL players who could step into the boxing ring. Number 5, Victor Radley. Literally nicknamed Victor the Inflictor, Radley is one of the game's most physical players, but is yet to step inside a boxing ring. Radley never backs down from a challenge and is a near certainty to walk into the ring at some stage. If he is as furious in the ring as he is on the footy field, his opponent better watch out. You could also expect a lot of interesting pre-fight sledging, although someone should probably tell him that headbutting is also illegal in boxing. Number 4, Brandon Smith. A self-proclaimed fanatic of boxing, Smith always loves stirring up the opposition and has a talent for always being at the centre of the scuffle. Surely he is destined to find himself in the boxing ring in the future. The Rooster recruit even allegedly knocked out a former New Zealand amateur boxing champion in his youth. Boxing promoter Nick Livermore sat down with Sporting News in 2021 to discuss league players making the move from rugby to the ring, stating, "I Instagram messaged Brandon, he gave me his phone number to call him and he said sign me up, and he was the first contract back. He's a guy who was boxed as a junior, and I think whoever goes up against him has got his work cut out for him, and Brandon said he'll fight anyone. You know what? I believe him." Number 3, David Klemmer. A force on the field in the forwards, Klemmer is no stranger to getting involved in fights and scuffles. The strong, tenacious prop is never one to back down from a challenge and regularly stands as one of the most competitive players in the game. Paul Gallen also named Klemmer as an NRL player that could potentially make the switch to boxing, saying, "He's got the body shape, tall and long arms go a long way in boxing. I've never seen him punch, but he's certainly got the look. He's got a scary look, but I'd have to see how he'd go. Boxing ring, there's nothing like it. You can't prepare for it with a fight on the footy field, but he's got the mongrel and the will, and could certainly do it if he wanted to." In 2015, Klemmer and Queensland legend Gordon Tallis were talking so much smack to each other throughout an Origin series that there was a $50,000 offer to settle the dispute in the ring. Unfortunately, the fight never went ahead. What could have been? I agree with Gallen. Klemmer definitely seems like he has the mongrel and the will. Number 2, Josh Alohi. Originally meant to fight Paul Gallen until he pulled out due to COVID-19, Alohi is the most likely to go down the career track of being a boxer. Standing at almost 2 meters tall, the Samoan international is a fierce opponent to have on the opposite side of the ring. He actually already has an amateur fight to his name back in 2017, and he even took home the win by a second-round knockout. Growing up, he was trained as a boxer until he had to forego that career after a flurry of injuries. Fighting runs in the Alohi family. Alohi said he grew up in a boxing gym, with both of his brothers having competed in the sport, and his father is a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When speaking on his boxing ability, Alohi's boxing coach Hassan El Akrafi said, "He understands boxing. Not just punching, he understands it and understands the historical and technical things." Well, see you in the ring, Josh. Or hey, seeing as your dad knows jiu-jitsu, maybe we'll see you in an MMA cage one day too. Number 1, Jason Taumalolo. Standing at 191 centimeters and 115 kilos, Taumalolo is built like a brick house. But as Andrew Voss once put it, to be that big and have that footwork is where Taumalolo's talents really shine. That sounds like something you would say about Muhammad Ali in his prime. The Tonga international captain was actually meant to make his boxing debut at the back end of 2021, but it didn't come to fruition. In 2021, boxing promoter Dean Lonergan spoke of signing Taumalolo to a boxing fight, saying that Taumalolo has signed a 2-fight deal and wants to follow in Gallen's footsteps and become a professional fighter at the back end of his career. So, we may be seeing the cowboy prodigy trading his boots for some gloves sooner than we think. And that's it. Who did we miss? Are there any current NRL players that you think could be the next big thing in the ring? Leave a comment below and let us know. Also, a big shout out to Ethan Lee Chalk, who wrote the original article that this video is based on at ZeroTackle.com, which, by the way, is the #1 independent NRL news source. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I've been Phoenix Trinidad. See you next time.